Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. Today, thanks to the guys over at Robot Kingdom, I'm taking a look at the absolutely gorgeous Leonidas from Perfect Effects, labelled PE-DX05 Beast Muscle. I'm just starting off with the back of the box first. I was instantly blown away by all of the accessories you get with this. Now, Perfect Effects are renowned for their great plastic quality, the really secure building, all of the fantastic accessories that come with their figures as well. Warden is probably my biggest mistake. I really regret selling him. He was a fantastic figure. Then they released the upgrades to make him taller, and still, Auto Assembly around the corner. Hopefully I'll buy him again. But this guy comes absolutely jam-packed with accessories. Front of the box, we've got some really stylised artwork. I absolutely love that. It's kind of like the ink splashing on there, and it's glorious. It's actually a fantastically well done drawing. On both sides, we have Leonidas or Lio Convoy. It's him, isn't it? It is Lio Convoy. On the side there. On the bottom of the box, we've got our warnings. They're all in Chinese. Without further ado, let's crack him open. And here is old Gerard Butler straight out of the packaging. He is phenomenal. He really is. This video is going to end up sounding very, very fanboyish. It really is. But I am extremely impressed with this offering. He's gorgeous. He's actually wearing all of his weapons at the moment as well, which is fantastic. He comes in a 3-tier plastic shell, which of course includes all of his accessories and his display stand. Now, I'm going to show you the display stand shortly. But first, let's just take a quick look actually around the figure. He's got die-cast. He's got die-cast in both shoulders and in the hips, and also his weapons, namely the swords, are also die-cast. Just look at that. That's an absolutely gorgeous paint job. Fantastic finish. Just the detailing on this is insane. This really is a high-end collectible. It does come with a red visor, which we can just tab in on the top of the line. It gives it a very Zoid kind of look. Don't get me wrong, the Zoids, weren't they? Were a very, very good series. Fantastic toys. But it just really does take it too far away from the Transformers look, in my opinion. So for the majority of the video, I'm just going to have this visor off. It literally just pegs in. It's a very, very nice clear visor, but I just prefer those really striking eyes. Now, Perfect Effects have a very, very good reputation, and I was hoping this figure lives up to that reputation, and it actually surpasses it. I'm going to go as far as saying that this is my third-party figure of the year. It's that good in hand. I love it. Actually, the year is not out yet. There is still some of the year. So there may be something else come out, but this even tips the scales for the likes of Carrie, who I absolutely love. He is so heavy I could literally bludgeon somebody with him. He comes with a really, really nice Perfect Effects display stand. It just slides in. It's in 3 sections. It does just sit underneath his crotch. We also get the ability to put other display items on here as well. So we could slide it around the other way and have all, say, 4 of these figures all kind of jumping off the one display stand. Now, you briefly heard me speak about the accessories that we get with Lio Convoy. And it's Leonidas, I know, but he is in essence, of course, Lio Convoy. He's from the Beast Wars 2nd, was it? Or Beast Wars 2? He also featured in Beast Wars Neo, although they did think he was dead. But no, he weren't dead. He was just taking a break. It's glorious. He's actually got all of his accessories on him at the moment. They are just extremely well stored. If we come round to the back here, all of this mech at the back here, all of this accessories. He's got 2 of his rifles stored here. This section in the middle here actually comes out and forms a crossbow. This tail section
you can pop the back panel off there and it's ravelled round. You unpeg it and that becomes a spear, which is fully articulated. So it's kind of like the spear that Scorpion in Mortal Kombat has, kind of the get over here, that sort of thing. He has these 2 sheaths on the side here which peg in, and he's got metal die-cast blades that are holstered in those. I just think that's fantastic. I mean, it's been done so well that it does literally look like it's all meant to be there. It's all part and parcel. And if that's not all, you can separate these tail pieces and they form 2 daggers as well. That's incredible. Now, before I look at the weapons in detail, you have to ask yourself, where will Lio Convoy fit in my collection? Personally, I'm going to have him in my Masterpiece collection, with Optimus Primal being announced by Takara, and Optimus Primal actually handing down the leadership of the Maximals to Lio Convoy. I think it will be perfect. Looking at what Takara have already shown us with the very, very early test shots of Optimus Primal, looks like he's going to be about the same sort of size, and I think that will work fantastically. As for other Masterpieces, yeah, I think he works really, really well with MP10. What about the likes of Star Saber? He approves. Or what about some of the Generations style figures? I think he's going to fit wherever you want to put him. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have any Beast Wars II. I don't actually have any Beast Wars figures anymore, just the Generations ones. So here he is with the Generations Rhinox. Just to give you an idea, I mean, I think they look actually really, really good together. You've got the gold, that on Rhinox's chest, and it's very, very reminiscent of the gold used for the Lio Convoy. And yeah, I think if you've got the Beast Wars, or maybe the updated Generations versions of Beast Wars, I think they could actually work extremely well with having Lio Convoy or Leonidas as their leader. Right, I've just come around to the back here because I'm going to start taking a look at his weapons. First of all, let's just unpeg the guns from the back. They just tab on to this hinged section here. And let's just untab this one as well, and let's just lay him down. Let's just take a look at the detailing in these guns first. Now, there are 2 variations of how you have the gun. Basically, you can have this section flipped up and the handle flipped down like so. That looks very much like... that is quite G1, isn't it? But you've also got the option of flipping the handle up, placing that down, and having this handle down, and having it up like so. So you've got the same gun, but you can have it in 2 very different modes, which I think is actually a really, really nice touch. Makes them look different, but yet the same. Great paint applications there. Really, really solid plastic. The guns themselves feel almost... I feel very much like the Planet X figures, that sort of strong, robust plastic. Now grab this section here and just give that a tug, and that comes out. And this section here forms a crossbow. So we can just bend the hinge back, bend the hinge back. We can then flip this section up like so. I think they're meant to just come out to the end here. And then just flip the handle down. And there we have a nice crossbow. Again, exceptionally well made, and that's stored fantastically on his back there. The next accessory is the tail. Basically, this entire section here can untab from the back there. That also brings the sheaths off as well for the swords. But for now, we're just going to concentrate on the actual tail section. As you can see, it's folded and just tabbed in at multiple points, like so. Now, of course, we can put this back on Lio Convoy. And let's just take a look at this weapon. There we go. Absolutely fantastic. Now, the ball joints are quite loose, so you do have to kind of flex it around and get it to stay as you want it. But there is a lot of play here. You've got really great range. They just tab in together,
Like so. You do get replacement balls as well in the box, so you can make it longer or shorter. It's great. You can get some really cracking throwing poses with this. He's holding it in one hand and he's throwing the kind of spear forwards. And of course, I did mention earlier on, you can untab this section here, come across, and split into 2 energon blades. Now I do really like this whip, but the only problem with it being, because it's got so much articulation and the knives on the end are so weighted, if you would like to hold it out, the ball joints just don't quite hold up tight enough to fully extend and have it at full length without it flopping. Now with the tailpiece again mounted back on there, it just pegs into the top and it really does make the back really more proportionate. We've got these fantastic looking sheaths. Such high levels of detailing on those. A truly outstanding paint job. Of course, let's just pull the sword from its hilt. There we go, just slide this out. And there we have that is a die-cast metal sword with really glorious artwork there on the handles. Really gorgeous blades. Now of course all of this weaponry is completely optional. You can just take this section off, just untab it from the back there, and you can just keep it all off and you can just have him as this really lean, slender version of himself. His proportions are still really great. I just think it's fantastic that you can fix those weapons on the back there and his proportions really don't change that drastically. Now let's cover his articulation. To be honest with you, I think you will struggle to find a figure with anywhere near as much articulation as this guy has. First of all, let's start on the amazing head sculpt. That is fantastic. The head does rock up and down on that neck joint. He also has a separate joint on the head, allowing for a full 360-degree turn. A great downwards motion there, and with the tilt and rotation back, he's got a really good upwards motion. That's a fantastic pose, especially if you're getting him running forward. It's a really great pose. These shoulder pad sections are actually on additional hinges which can come out and fully rotate and then rock, so you can display them as you see fit. So as you move these shoulder pads, you can then adjust the lion's head and tail section accordingly. We've got rotation forward and back on those shoulders. We've got really nice outwards motion, comes in nice as well. You've got an upper bicep swivel, very tight swivel there. You've got a fantastic bend at the elbow there, as well as rotation on the actual elbow pad itself. Coming down to the wrist, we have a wrist swivel and we have open and close on the hands. The stomach and diaphragm is where this figure really comes into a league of its own. It comes up and down on a ball joint in there. It can also peg in, so it drops down slowly. You've got an upper rotation on the top of the diaphragm, as well as a full ball joint there on the lower diaphragm as well. So he has got a crazy amount of range there. So he can literally lean this far forwards and then come all the way back to the no pose. The legs can come this far forwards and go that far back. You can come out to the splits, slight hindrance at the top end of the range there. We have a rotation forwards and back, so we have like a turn in there. We have a double jointed knee. There is no knee swivel, but we do make up for that for the rotation in the thigh. The feet are on ball joints, so you can go forwards and back, side to side. as well as the actual toes themselves being on a separate ball joint. So you can individually move the toes on that ball. With the use of those ball jointed toes on top of the ball jointed ankles, you can get some really nice wide stances. But I think it's the smaller detailing on this which really sets it apart from the other third-party companies. The chest, for example, really nice bold chest, but it can also slide on individual ball jointed hinges. You can then pull this outer red section down, like so, to reveal a matrix. And what a glorious matrix that is. Fantastic. Just close these sections off. Again, they are completely ball jointed, so we can have those hinged right out, so we can even be opening his own chest. When you're doing like the famous Iron Man landing pose, etc., you've even got swivel ability on the kneecaps. So when you're posing him, you don't get an exposed knee. You can move the kneecaps up and down. So this one is set down, and he's got his back leg down, so I can slide that kneecap section forward to hide all the inner workings of that knee. Sorry, I know I sound like a complete fanboy here, but I am. I haven't had a figure that genuinely blows me away like this for quite some time. He's stunning. Now, the instruction manual isn't amazing, so I'm going to try and talk you through the transformation as best I can. There are actually retaining tabs on the top sections here of the shoulders. So your shoulder pads may at this point still be tabbed in like so. If they are, just untab them. I don't generally tab them in because I like the freedom when I'm doing the posing. Your first port of call is just to get this one here, pull this backwards, and just rotate this section on top for now. And again, do the same with this one. And you should see you've got this gold section here. What you want to do, you want to just rotate this one back, and you want to pull that forwards. So this gold section is now going downwards. It's going to fully rotate round, so it's at the back section like that. You then want to move this shoulder section round, and that's actually just going to come forwards on that hinge, and we're going to aim to lay that over the top of Lio Convoy's head. Then fold this back section in, so it's into this shape. Then that's going to fold in on the actual hinge there, and that's just going to slot in behind the head. Now there's a tab just on the inside there. You're going to want to line this tab up with this hole, and it's the same on both sides. Once they're tabbed in on both sides, you're going to have something that looks like that, with this section going over the top of this one. Right, the next step, rotate the chest piece, just pull that up and rotate that 90 degrees, so it's like so. You want to rotate the fist, so it's in the downward position like this. Then applying pressure to the inner arm, to give out a little push, and that brings this entire arm section around. Close that fist off, and that comes round like so. Our next step is to roll the shoulder sections up and forward, and then just straighten off these legs. So the shoulders are going to be facing forwards like this. So let's do the same on this side. Bring the shoulder section up and to the front, and then straighten off those leg sections. You can now bring down this Leo head, which sits quite comfortably over those shoulders. Now let's tackle these legs. You want to slide it down onto the ball joint, because at the moment it's sunk quite up there. You want to slide that ball joint down, lift the leg up, and then once you bend the knee, slide that kneecap up and over, which then allows us to get access to this back leg joint, and then we can bend that one back. Now we have some very lion-like legs at the back there. And then we have him in his full lion mode. As you can see, I've put the weapons back on. Now, officially, you can actually keep the full range of weapons on him whilst transforming him, so there is no parts forming involved. I just find it a lot easier with all the manoeuvrability that we're having to do with the head and the shoulder sections here. I just find it a lot easier to take those sections off. But when we place them back on again, I really do think it kind of builds up the whole spine area of the back of the lion, and it really does look incredible. I think it just looks really filled out with all of those sections. Again, it's the posing on this guy which really does separate him from the other Transformer third-party figures. He's just so nimble. I really do love this lean, sleek design they've gone for. Not a great fan of the ball joint inside this chest piece here. It does tend to bend a lot when you're manhandling the waist section. The articulation in the lion mode head. I mean, just look at that sculpt, that's amazing. You do have a jaw that can go up and down. I mean, look at the teeth. They are incredible. Again, I've chosen not to have the red visor on. When I do my full photo gallery, which will be available at Benscollectables, click the eye up here, I will take photos with and without the visor. I don't think it holds on properly, and I don't like it. I like the Zoid look, but not that much. We do have the ability to move the head left and right. Not a great range of motion there. You're kind of limited by where things clear in the back section here. The arms do still rotate, and you do move them forwards in and out on that shoulder joint. The elbow will only bend forwards. You can't get any real backwards motion on it anymore. We do have forward and back on the paws, and they do lock into place. And of course, we do have individually articulated toes. We get to this waist section. It can pop in to secure it more firmly, but the idea is he's meant to have this lean, sleek, kind of lion-like look, so we can get some really nice arching on that back. So you do have a really nice range there. Coming around to the back legs, of course I've got the swords mounted at the moment, which do hinder them slightly. I'll show you the alternative method of mounting these swords briefly. The legs do come out, back, forwards, and again we have the articulation on those knees. We do have the ball jointed paws at the back, and again the articulation on the toes. Now the alternative method to mounting these swords, basically you have to first of all take them off the back section. They just basically tab in on an extremely long peg. Take those off both sides. You can now come round to the crossbow section, open up the crossbow by pulling that section up and popping that down, and then fold out these tabs. Now where these tabs are, we can now bring the swords in, and they can just tab in to those said tabs. The option to pull up this back tab and have the guns up, and he now looks like he's kind of armoured up with heavy artillery mode. Overall, I think the Lion mode is slightly weaker than the bot mode, but I still stand by my original statement that this is my third-party product of the year. It is absolutely glorious. Don't get me wrong, the year's not out yet, but Perfect Effects have really, really impressed me with this guy. He's got that kind of Gail Geiger feel about him. It's a glorious, stunning, visually impressive, highly detailed, exquisitively painted, remarkably well engineered figure. So there we have it, guys. I really like this figure, and apparently so does Woody. And on that bombshell, thanks for watching. If you found the video useful, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and check out benscollectables.com for the full gallery. Thanks again to the guys over at Robot Kingdom. The link to the toy is in the description just here. Any requests for photos, please feel free to add that to the comments section below. And until next time, from myself and the mighty Leonidas, goodbye.